a year ago, I was going into my garage, and this is actually what got me started on karate. There was a guy in my wife's car. Did you know the story?
I did not. What?
I heard he was in your garage.
He was in my garage. He was in the car. I thought it was my brother-in-law. So I just got back from walking my dogs, and this guy was in the car. I thought it was my brother-in-law. So I'm like, hey, good morning. And he looks up, and I'm like, that's not my brother-in-law. And the guy slams the door and goes running off down the driveway. Well, I had just come walking. I'd been running for about 3 miles. I was warmed up, and for some reason, I decided to chase this fool. And so I chased him down the driveway. We run down the street. I live in a cul-de-sac. There's only really one way to go. He's running out of the cul-de-sac. We're cutting across the lawn, and I yell, "Sick 'em, Sadie!" Which my Labrador.
She was already winded, to be honest.
Yeah. She's like, what is that word? Sick 'em? Is that food? But the guy turned around enough to lose his stride, and I caught him. And I tackled him, and we slid across the street up into the driveway, and it was on.
Wow.
It was on, and it's like...
You didn't tell me that whole story.
Still dark outside. It was still dark, and so, like, I had this moment of, like, there's not going to be a teacher come and pull us apart. There's not going to be, like, the coach is like, okay, that's enough, boys. No, it was, like, mano-y-mano, and we were throwing down, and I used to work in law enforcement, so I had a little bit of an advantage, and I was kicking the shit out of this kid. He got me a couple of good times. Like, he got a good kick in. He punched me in the face once, but for the most part, I was doing my thing, but I was winded. I'm not the linebacker.
You're not the cardio machine.
I'm not built for distance, bro. But tackling him, and we slid across the street. He jumped up. He was screaming so loud that all the neighbors came out, and I'm saying, call the police. They thought I was the aggressor. So they called the police. This guy jumps up and he runs down to his truck. I actually have pictures. Maybe you can attach the pictures to this podcast. But jumps in his truck. I got a picture of the back of his truck, and off he went. And I went back, and because I had tackled him, everything that he had stolen out of Annie's car and the other cars that he'd been in, his wallet, everything. It was like
his own wallet was there.
His wallet was there. So I opened it up. There's his name, Logan.
No kidding.
Wow.
So I called the police, and they came out, and I did the thing, but I had a moment of like, and the officer said this, he's like, so tell me the story. I told him the story. He's like, I wish more people could do that. He said, but don't ever do that again.
Yeah.
He's like, you could have been in a lot of trouble. What if you'd had a knife or a gun or something like that? And it really occurred to me, like, I am ill-prepared to defend myself. And so I went to the gym, was where I met Dave, and I was telling you a little bit about the story.
Yeah,
like,
you just tell me little bits and pieces. That's new for all that. I didn't know that whole story.
Yeah, we went to Knuckle City, and anyway, I just had this moment of like, I'm a certain age. I really want to have that confidence. I want to be able to know if someone was breaking into my car and I found them in my house, whatever. I could do what I needed to do in order to handle my business because it's important to me, not just to protect myself, but I have a beautiful wife and I have a beautiful family and I have beautiful things. And I just want to be able to just take care of business in a way that I can effectively neutralize the threat and not get injured.
Yep.
And you were like, well, you should come on in. And I did, and I've been going ever since. Like, it was a game changer for me because I really felt like if you're not consistently improving your ability to defend yourself, you will be a victim at some point.
Yeah, right? And see, that's what I always tell people too. Is like, if you don't keep it up, it goes away anyways too.
Yeah.
It's if you don't keep your skill going, anything you do, a foreign language or nothing,
playing the piano,
if you don't keep practicing, it's gone.
Yeah.
It'll disappear. So.
Yeah.
So I share that story with you because I think everybody is a prime demographic to be in karate or something.
Yeah.
Anything where you're learning how to defend yourself and learning how to like move your body and have that self-control and coordination is the word I was looking for. I am uncoordinated and I have terrible balance. I didn't know that about myself.
You're very top heavy.
He actually has tight hips. His hips don't rotate as well.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you got to loosen these hips up a little bit.
So I'm stretching and I'm doing these things, getting better. But I feel like even as I work out as much as I do, there's always an area for improvement. And this is something that I've never even considered before. Like I leave the dojo sweaty.
Yeah.
Which is
it's
cool.
awesome.
It is awesome.
It's a way better workout than you could ever possibly imagine.
You know what's funny? Like, okay, you see people treadmill and everything. My knees are starting to get worse, so I do the ellipticals and bicycles now. But yeah, I do them, but it's boring.
Yeah.
I get bored. I'm bored out of my mind. When I go to martial arts, we learn the art of martial arts. So you practice forms, stuff like that. I go through like 4 of those, dude. I'm dripping.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm tired already. I'm like, all right, let's do the next one. That to me, I feel like I'm getting double the exercise, the cardio, than a treadmill, elliptical, bicycle. I'm like, no.
Well, sure, because it's functional.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And guess what? I'm using my brain, too.
Right.
My brain's part of it, and I'm having fun with it.
Yeah, and you also don't realize how hard you're working because you're
Having a good
moving
time.
it and
And I'm
whatnot. Not just sitting on the treadmill.
That's
ad
exactly
nauseum.
it too.
And the treadmill, the gym, and I love the gym, don't get me wrong, but the gym doesn't teach you to spin, look, kick,
Yep.
move. All of the things that need to happen in order to deliver a successful roundhouse kick, it's not happening. And so I'm engaging parts of my brain that have been turned off.
Yeah.
Or maybe never were turned on. And so,
No, I'm the exact same way because that's what gets me excited because I'm like, this is fun. This is where I get to have fun, get a good cardio because if Rob knows me, I love working out. I love going to the gym. We got a little gym family. We go see each other. We're like, hey, what's up? How you doing? But then I go and people are always asking, you don't do cardio? I'm like, I don't have to. You're not here because I do it all day at work.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's the best part too.
What do you mean you haven't subscribed? Subscribe now.